For the past 4.5 billion years, the Sun has held the entire solar system and all its planetary bodies together as a serene and harmonious family. The driving force, however, has been the incredible gravitational force of the star that has made the system as stable and harmonized as it is today. But what if the solar system wasn't this stable? What if someday a foreign object crashes into our realm and disrupts this harmony forever? Yes, we're talking about the ever-feared stellar flybys. Stellar flybys are a common phenomenon that happens frequently in our universe. Time and again, scientists at NASA have conducted studies on the expected stellar flybys that the solar system can expect in the near future. However, scientists have rarely ever warned about a probable flyby or any disruption these flybys may cause. Moreover, until now, none of the foreign objects that have visited the solar system have caused any damage to the planetary system. But astonishingly, a study conducted in 2022 implies the opposite about the future. The predictions and calculations of scientists this time is beyond terrifying, to say the least. Hello and welcome back to another video of the Door to the Universe. Today is the day when you're about to know how important planetary harmony is for humans, as we will slowly dissect the cautionary study conducted in June 2022 by Dr. Garrett Brown that predicts the probable consequences of a 0.1% of perturbation to Neptune's orbit. So go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel as we're about to dive in. Even though the architecture and evolution of planetary systems are shaped in part by stellar flybys, this phenomenon can also be hazardous enough to disrupt the entire synchronous system of planets. A happening like this is so disastrous that it could easily make the entire solar system collapse in a matter of seconds. But what exactly are these deadly stellar flybys? And what is causing them? Besides the planets, massive star systems, and other cosmic entities, our cosmos is teeming with asteroids, meteorites, and space dust. These objects are either remains of a big star, small dwarf stars, or remnants of any planet that has long before fallen off. However, these substances are not governed by a body's gravity and are not part of any one galaxy, but are free to roam wherever they desire in the cosmos. When these objects travel by a planet or any other celestial body, they can cause severe disturbances in the planet's orbit. But not because they harm the planet in any way or crash into the body, but because galaxies like our Milky Way are tightly knitted systems that are bound together by heavy forces. When in any way this force, planetary rotation, or structure is interrupted, the consequences can be far more severe than we can comprehend. The last visible flyby that Earth has witnessed is said to be the flyby of the Shoals star that happened around 70,000 years ago. According to researchers, the Shoals star, which is currently at a distance of 22 light-years away from Earth, was present at 0.8 light-years distance back then. As per them, when the star flew by Earth, the early human species must have seen the flybys as a red, bright object in the sky that vanished without causing any damage. This year, at the University of Toronto, two scientists named Hanno Rein and Garrett Brown ran 3,000 flyby effect simulations on the planet Neptune. According to Garrett, the motivation behind this study itself was just to try and understand how sensitive the solar system is to change. Per them, amongst the 8 planets that our solar system has, Neptune is the farthest, coldest, and most vulnerable planet of all, due to its larger orbit and distance from the Sun. This is why, if ever a flyby occurs, Neptune would be the only planet that would feel the maximum effects of such an event. The experiment was based on what could happen to the planet or solar system if a stellar flyby occurs. For this study, only stars were considered as stellar flybys in their simulations. The simulations were carried out by unusual stars that are 100 times the size of our Sun, and also common red dwarf stars, which are around 5% the size of our Sun but are 100 times heavier than Jupiter. After running various simulations with varying degrees of effects, what the scientists found out made a ground-shaking discovery. As per them, if ever a star with its own gravitational pull passes by Neptune's orbit and changes the orbit by 0.1%, then the instability following would be enough to collapse the entire solar system. Brown, in one of his interviews, said that we ran almost 3,000 simulations, and in one of those cases, we found that the change of Neptune's orbit caused the Earth to crash into Mars instead. So it is possible that something could happen like that, where the happening affects Earth directly. According to the simulation results, if Neptune's orbit is affected by a stellar flyby and the event causes Jupiter and Mercury's perihelion to sink, then it will be a matter of days before Earth collapses. If the perihelion coincides, Mercury is most likely to fall out of its orbit due to Jupiter's gravitational force. The force will either cause Mercury to go towards or far from the Sun. If Mercury moves towards the Sun, then the planet will melt into the surface of the star and will eventually collapse. If it happens to fall out of the solar system and collapse, the fragments of the planet could hit the other planets, including our Earth, causing even more disruption to the system. But if it happens to crash into Venus or Earth, then our home planet, due to the hit, could either get closer to the Sun and get burned completely, or it can fall into outer space and get frozen to death. In either case, nothing good is likely to happen to our planet. Now, the scariest thing about this discovery is that the stellar flyby star to cause such a significant impact on the solar system does not have to be as big as the Sun. Even a small dwarf star can cause such damage to the system. Brown, in his interview, added that just how the Sun's gravity can influence distant objects like comets, and even the comets that are very far away from the Sun, but they can still start orbiting the Sun because of the Sun's strong gravity. This means that if ever a star flies by Neptune's orbit, then the force of gravity of that very star can cause a change to the planet's orbit. This discovery has caused a lot of chaos all over the world in all scientific communities. Scientists nowadays are trying to find any possible stellar flyby that might happen years from now. However, it is not as easy for the community to know when the next flyby will happen. But why? Well, the distance of Earth from Neptune is 3 times greater than the distance Earth is from the Sun. This distance makes it even more difficult for the researchers to see what's coming for Neptune's orbit. Moreover, according to Newton's theory of gravitational force, the force of attraction between two bodies is dependent upon the masses of the bodies and their distance. However, the other factor that impacts this gravitational force is the in-body factor. According to theory, it's almost impossible to know the exact gravitational force acting on a body until we know all the bodies that are acting on that particular body. For instance, if the Sun attracts Jupiter and the other planets, Jupiter attracts its satellites, and similarly, the satellites act on one another. So it's almost impossible to predict the path or the force that is causing a body to move. To conclude the study, Garrett and Hanno made an excellent point. According to them, the consequence of moving Neptune from its orbit by a very tiny amount can indeed increase the likelihood of instability happening to the solar system by 10 times. And this result might seem like an upcoming catastrophe, but there are other ways to see it. According to Brown, if we take the solar system as it is now, without any flybys, completely isolated and protected from the rest of the universe, even then, there's a 1% chance that Mercury in the future will collide with Venus or Earth. Brown stated that the solar system is quite volatile and unpredictable, which makes it more difficult to predict the solar system's fate beyond a billion years. However, if there is a 1% chance that Mercury would crash into Venus in around 10 billion years, then instead of that 1% change, if a star passes by and moves Neptune by the small amount of 0.1%, even then the instability caused is increased to 10%, but the instability and chaos are inevitable. Brown also said that if there's anything we should worry about more that is likely to happen in the near future, is that humans should be worried about the Sun burning out the Earth. But again, that event won't occur for another 5 billion years at least, according to scientists. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and click the bell notification below so you can be notified from new videos from the door to the universe. We'll see you in the next video.